All right, we are here. Welcome, everybody, to the New Agent Series, the second installment. I hope you're enjoying everything that Training Camp is having to offer so far. But I'm really excited because today I'm going to talk to you about how to keep your client data organized and secured. This is a really, really good one. I'm very excited about it. But just know that we've also got Bonnie on here helping with Q&A as well. So we'll be trying to get to all your questions. But let's get in here because I know there's so much to cover. First of all, just have to go through a couple housekeeping things. One, this is being recorded. That's the good thing. This is being recorded. I can literally see it blinking right now. So this is being recorded and you can always come back and watch it again or send it to a colleague, all of that good stuff. The other thing is I kind of gave you a little hint on this, but we do have Bonnie also in the background helping me out get some questions answered. So throughout this whole session, we're going to try to keep it tightly packed. So please do ask those questions and then we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. We'll either chat you back or use that Q&A panel as well. Now, if there's anything that you don't get answered during this time, just know that our support team is there and happy to help after this, and we can get that set up for you. Now, the next thing is join the Facebook group. I know we've been talking about this all week so far, but join our Facebook group. Keep the conversations going. In that, you'll actually find them if you go into your Zoom panel. There's resources in there, and you'll be able to see the Facebook group in there. If not, let us know. We can put that in the chat as well for you. But make sure you join that after this as well, because there's a lot of great conversation happening over there. Now, this series within another series is Training Camp. We decided, I know that Bonnie got to tell you a little bit more about this yesterday, and you heard the really awesome news about things that we're doing. But this is part of our 4-part series that, we've been doing Training Camp again this is our 5th year, which is crazy. But this is the first time that we've ever actually offered specific sessions for a new agent in mind. So these are going to be, I almost call them like workshop style because they're really going to be like broken down, and we're going to show you how you do everything so you can go set up your Travefy account right after this, or maybe even you're going to multitask and work alongside me. Go for it. So yesterday, Bonnie talked about the website. Today, I'm focusing more on CRM. So really important stuff because, keeping your client information secured and organized. Then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how you can sell more with proposals. So I get to do that one. I believe I'm doing that one. It might be Bonnie. It's a blur when you have all these sessions. But then the last one is then we're going to come back to what we know so well is itineraries. So on Friday, you'll be able to hear all about, those best practices, creating stunning itineraries. Now, also, I have to say, a lot of these sessions are already going to be really helpful for you. I'm hope you're learning so much already. But again, these ones really are like breaking it down from the very beginning of creating a Travefy account. So I hope you stick with us through the rest of these series. Now, something that you probably saw yesterday, if you didn't, big news, we are launching a new travel agent program. This is really exciting. It's going to be a new program, again, dedicated to just new agents entering the industry and allowing you to sign up for $25 a month. Amazing. But that's not it. There's more to it because we're going to help you set up your website, get your domain going, and email, all of that good stuff. Now, we are only taking up to 100 people right now. So fill out the form. I'll put the link in the chat. And if you're interested, definitely go check that out. But this is kind of we like to call it like our soft launch. We're really letting you know now so you can prepare yourself. And so we're getting everybody's information in now. So that was the inspiration behind this series too, I gotta say. So really awesome. I just love this. There's just so many people entering the industry, and we are here to help you and help you grow an amazing business. So with that being said, this session I hope I'm gonna try to aim for like 40 minutes. We'll see. Sometimes I get a little chatty. But during this session, again, we're focusing on CRM, which if you don't know what CRM is, it's client relationship management or customer relationship management, however you want to say it. So basically, it's where you keep things organized for your clients. But what's better and the best thing about Travefy is that we also support PCI compliance, so you can collect information securely and safely. So what we're going to do today is I'm first going to talk about, how do you set up your contacts? So again, we're going to go to the very beginning. We're going to talk about how do you get your client information in Travefy. And then I'm going to talk about how do you start to collect information for your clients using our form builder. So we're going to talk about that. And then booyah, if you were joining us yesterday, we have invoicing. It literally just released yesterday. So I'm going to spend just a tiny bit of time showing you invoicing because invoicing does go with your CRM. So I'm going to show you that just so you can kind of get to know it. And then I got a little bonus for you. At the end, I did want to bring in to talk about how to create tasks and automations to create a seamless workflow in Travefy in your CRM. So as you can see, we're covering quite a bit, but again, I really just want to focus this on let's get your contacts in there. And then when you start getting your clients, how do you collect the information? We're going to go to the forms. We'll talk about the invoicing part. So we'll kind of go step by step through there. And then don't forget, we have a lot of free bonus material for you also. So I'll be sharing that with you. And then at the very end, I'll show you how you actually get that in your account as well. So a lot we're going to go through again, but again, use that question, that little question area, and then Bonnie and I can help get those questions answered for you. So, okay, now it is time to dive in here. So, okay, the first thing that I want to do, and I'm going to look over here because this is my notes. I don't want to forget anything. So the first thing that we want to talk about is really the biggest part of this is just getting your client contact information in your Travefy account. So when you have your Travefy account, it'll look something like this. You might have some trips in here. Maybe you don't yet. But then up at the top, right where it says contacts, that is where all of your client contact information lives. So no matter what, again, when you come in, you're just going to click contacts at the top. And this is where you'll be able to see all of your client contact information in here. Now I'm going to walk through this, but a couple things that I want to show you, just kind of what makes this really nice, is that one, it's simple. It is so easy. If you're familiar, with maybe another job you had or a job in the past, there's some pretty intense CRMs out there, which is great. But for this case, we really listen to, especially new advisors, and they're like, I don't need anything extremely complex. Like, I don't want to hire somebody to set this up for me. I just need something simple and secure and easy. So that's what this is. Now, again, when you click on contacts here, you'll be able to have each contact listed, and then you can have multiple things like you're able to keep notes in here. You can see what itineraries they've been part of. You'll be able to view the form responses, which we'll be getting into here. Again, any documents they've uploaded, we'll talk about that as well. But then you can see here, you do have a lot of manual options where you can add descriptions, you can change their name, you can put in all their details like the email, phone, street, and then you can also include custom fields, which don't worry, we'll be going all into this. And then you can have like labels, things like that. So it's pretty straightforward, that you have those contacts. Now, something that a lot of people ask first thing, and I bet there's some questions coming in already. How do I get my contacts in here? So if you already have contacts, what you can do is one, you can go just one by one, just manually. Let's say someone calls you up right now and they're interested, but you need to get their details really quick. You could come into your Travefy account, click new contact, and then in here, we can just start putting, let's just say contact name here. And then we can put in any notes. And these are all private internal notes just for you. You can add details, all of that, get their email, their phone, all of that stuff in here right away. So really easy to just get those one by one. Now, if you're someone who already has some contacts, that you have already, and you want to get them loaded in. So maybe you do have another CRM tool or something else, or somewhere, maybe you're just keeping them on Excel, Google Sheets. That's totally fine. But what you can do is you can easily get them into Travefy by coming over here in this top left-hand side. And again, where we have new contacts, you're just going to click import contacts. Now from here, what you're gonna do is you're going to end up getting like an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to end up putting that into here. Now, here's my pro tip for this. You can see right here that this is the order we need everything. So it's very important that we get it in this order. We do need like last name, first name, email, phone, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's something really nice. See the spot right here where it says download the template file? You can just download that file and that file will be ready to go for you. So that way you can go ahead and you can just copy and paste things, add them in. So again, if you have them somewhere else, just copy and paste them in. That's all you have to do. So really, really easy. And then you just upload them, just drag and drop it in or upload it. And that's all you do. And then it'll go ahead and it'll upload all of them for you in here. So then you'll have all your contacts in there. Now, if you have any questions, feel free, again, just chat us in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen or send us an email and we can help out with that. But otherwise, it's pretty simple, which is great. But now, here's what I want to do next. I want to actually go in and let's add, here, I'm going to go back to Jane Doe. As you can see, Jane Doe is my very popular client that I have a lot of information for. So I always use her. But in here, what's really nice is that in here, if I did need to go, send a form or collect more information, again, I can manually add information in. So if she told me, if I asked her what her birthday is, I could come in and add it on my own. But here's a better way. You can actually create a form to collect all that information, and then it will just put it all into your contact. So this is a good example that I always like to give, is you don't have to go in and create the contact first if you're getting information from them. So let's say, for example, they're interested in potentially booking a trip with you. Well, instead of just getting everything in here beforehand, you can also just send them a form and ask for their information, and then you'll be able to put that form information in here. Now, if you're like, what? How does that work? Let's walk through this. So what I'm going to do is I want to talk about forms. I want to talk about how you not only create a form, but how do you send it, manage it, and then how do you get that form information into the contact profile? So we're going to cover all of that right now. So take a sip if we need. Second part of forms, the biggest part, I would say this is the meat of this whole thing, is that when you do a form, there's a couple different ways you can send a form. So one, you can see, if you notice this, that there is that button right there in this contact where I can actually go ahead, and these are forms I have in my account already, but then you can also just create a new one right here. So if you just need to send something to someone you already have in there, not a problem. Just send it right from their contact profile. Now, the other option you have is when you have your trips, you actually are able to keep everything really organized so you don't have to go back to the contact profile, where you can just say add new, and then you can add a form right in here, and then you can actually send it to these specific travelers, and it just all stays in this one place, and it still syncs back to their contact profile. So hopefully that makes sense. So you don't really have to live out of contacts. You could be living out of that trip. So that's kind of the nice thing. It's really great way to keep organized, especially if you do group trips. That's highly recommend doing it that way. Just keep it in that trip, and then you'll see all the form responses, and then you can follow up if someone hasn't filled it out. So it's kind of my pro tip there. I would recommend doing that. But the third option is the way that I'm actually going to do it, because I want to build a brand new form with you from scratch. And your forms are actually going to live in your library. Now, you probably are familiar if you've been joining us on our other sessions, but if not, your library, which is right at the top here, this is where you keep like content for itineraries. It's where your forms live, all kinds of stuff. Everything's pretty much in here. And so what you can do is you could create a form just in here, and then you can get the link to it, send it, all that. So 3 different ways, but it depends kind of what you're doing. And just know that you have so much flexibility with this, which is really handy. So let's go ahead and set up a form. Now, what you can do to set up a brand new form is you can just click New Library Item right here. So right in the top left-hand corner. And then from this drop-down menu, we obviously want to choose Form. So I'm going to choose Form. Now in here, let me give this a title. So let's say New Client Information Form. Now you can also add labels if you do want to keep it organized. There is the ability to have response limits. So again, if this was like a group trip or something, it was like a booking form, you could put that in. Another thing I highly recommend is you can also say create from template, and then you can pull from different templates that we have built in here. But for this, I actually just want to go ahead and add each one individually just because that's the goal today. I really want to make sure you walk away knowing how to go set up your own form. So I'm just going to click add new. Then from here, I have a few options. You can add just your question, which we'll do. You also do have the option for text and image. So if you like to put like your logo or a photo at the top and like some information, you can do that. And then you also can embed Calendlies. So Calendlies, where they can actually like find a time, a schedule, a time with you, you can embed that into this form too. So check that out if you're interested in that. It's pretty cool. But I'm just going to go ahead and let's just say new question. Now, if you've ever used a form builder before, it's pretty much the same where you're just going to go ahead and say, okay, what are you asking for? And then you can add additional text or instructions, right in here. But then what we can do is over here on the right-hand side, you're going to select what type of response is it that you're wanting. Now, you can choose, we could choose short answer because that is technically what this is. However, this is going to be one of the most important things you take out of this session right now, smart fields. If you are not familiar with smart fields, what it is it is a way that collects any response that is attached to a smart field will automatically place itself into their contact profile in the right area. So it's kind of like it's intuitively knowing that when you are collecting information from a new client or any client, it knows where to put that information into the right fields in their contact profile. So because of that, I always recommend do smart field. Not all the time will it make sense, but I would recommend when you're getting information like what we're doing right now, use smart fields. So you can see I can choose smart field, and then under here I can choose contact name. So we're going to go ahead and choose that, and then we're going to make it required. So don't forget to choose your required fields. And then we're just going to check this little check mark, and it's done. So now let's do another one. I'm going to add new, and then let's add an email address. And then again, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say smart field. And then see how it knows? It's very smart. It knows what you need. So I'm just going to check that. And let's do another one. Let's do home address. So I'm going to choose, I'm just going to write in home address. Once again, you could choose address, but I'm going to select the smart field option. And then you can see here's that. Required. And then you do have the option international or US. So anyone who is not US based, just go ahead, click international, and then check that. And then here's where it gets real fun. So the name, email, home, phone, those are all already in like Travefy's system. It already has fields. Now, if there's ever other fields that you need to collect, like birth date, anniversary, diet, anything like that, that's where you'll create your own custom fields. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this, but one thing that's really nice, I am about to give you a form right after this that will have these custom fields. So as long as you copy that form into your Travefy account, you'll have these custom fields. So you don't actually have to go in and manually do it. Save you some time. But what you would do normally is you would say add new and then question. And then in here, you can say smart field. And then from this below, this custom fields, these are what I have added custom to myself. Now you can set these up in your account settings. So it's really easy to do. In fact, you could even do it in a contact profile, but it's really easy to set up. But what I want is I want to start asking passport information because, spoiler alert, if you didn't know you can ask for passport information, you can. Because again, remember, we are PCI compliant. Everything is safe and secure. So you actually can get this. It's encrypted. It's things that are honestly above my head, but it makes kind of makes sense. It's really good. It's as safe as it can get, basically. So I can ask for things like passport number. So I can say, enter, let's just say we'll just say passport number. And then again, smart field, because I wanted to create that ahead of time. And then I have a passport number option. Now you can see how this has like a little lock on it? That's because it is a protected field. Now, we are going to come back and do a credit card authorization form, but please do not confuse these two. Card authorization is literally just for card authorization. Protected field is for something that needs to be protected, like ID, passport. That's the difference there. So so you could choose protected, but again, I have a smart field already, so we're just going to use that. And then let's go ahead and check that. Now, another thing you might want to ask is, passport expiration date. And then I'm actually just going to choose date. So you could just do that. You can just say date. And then the final thing, and then we'll wrap this up, is I want to actually ask for a photo of their passport. Pretty cool, huh? Because think about this. If you're asking for passport information, they type a number wrong. Oh, could you imagine how bad that could be? So we recommend, why don't you get a photo of it? So you can put, let's see, I'm going to put passport, or let's just say like, please upload a photo of your passport. And then again, you have this additional field. If you need to like explain why, you can. But then how you're actually going to allow them to upload something, you're going to choose the option right here, contact document upload. And then this default name is basically when it uploads into their contact profile, it'll tell you what it is. So it'll say passport, so I'll know. And then that's all I'll do. So there we go. All right, we're good. See all this that we just got in here? And again, I'm actually going to give this to you so you don't even have to do all this manually. But here's what it looks like. If we just preview it really quick, this is what it will look like for your client. They'll be able to fill everything out, that passport, and then they can like upload a document or a picture of their passport. So really easy. And again, you can just share it directly to them a couple ways. You can just click share at the top and you can email it, or you also can get a link. So this link you could get too. Otherwise, you could just share it to them, put a message in there if you want as well. But that's all you're going to do. And then once you send it off to them and they fill it out, you will get an email we'll send you an email letting you know that you just got a new response. And here's where you'll be able to see it. I may or may not before this set this up. So I can see all the responses that I've gotten. And here it is. Now I can go ahead and I can look at it. I can download a PDF. If you did have multiple responses, you can export a spreadsheet of all of them. You can do that as well. But notice how it says assigned to contact. So this person is not in my contact system, or it's not in my CRM right now. So what I can do is I can say assign to contact. I can assign it to an existing one or new. Let's just do new in this case. So I'm going to say, okay, Cindy Jones, create and assign. All right. Now it is now connecting somebody to this response. So now let's go see this. Again, you can either click on her name right here, but if you go to contacts, see Cindy Jones is in here. Now here's where the magic is. Look at this. Remember, we were just in here a little bit ago. She didn't live in here yet, but see how now I can look up all this information and it gets better. That passport upload, it is in your document section so we can view it. Do you like this? I think that's pretty great. And so if you need to download it, you can, but that's where it'll live. So it's so easy. So hopefully that helps make sense to like really how it connects together. Now, I want to do one more form with you, and that's the credit card authorization. I know that's a big one. Credit card authorization, that is basically when you are collecting the payment information, the credit card details, and then you have to go pay, the supplier. So that's what this is. And again, this is all PCI compliant. This is how we recommend. This is the way to do it. It's the PCI compliant way to do it. So if you've ever, it's okay. We probably have to, accidentally put like their credit card information on a post-it note, or you literally just like take their payment and you just don't want to do that. So we suggest is just go ahead, create your credit card authorization form in Travefy and send it, get that information. It's really easy to get. Now, how you're going to do this is, again, you could just send a form from here or in the trip. But if we build one together really quickly here, you can actually just click new library item and choose form. And then we do have a template. So I recommend the template's really easy. Now, something really important about this is if you're in your account and you don't see like it's like grayed out or the option for credit card authorization's not, it's blurred out, you can't use it. That's just because you need to set up two-factor authentication. Now you can do that in your account settings. It's really easy. Just go in your account settings. And then basically what it is it's just like where, we're going to send you a code to your phone, or we can email you a code just to confirm who you are. So it's like a second layer than just putting your password to get into your account. So again, just PCI compliance, that's how it works. So once you have that set up, you then can just click credit card authorization. And then again, if you want to edit these, you can. But really all it is it's just the card authorization option. And then in here, you can go ahead and you can put what is the description for, like what is it authorizing, what's the amount. You can also allow your client to set an amount. So if they don't want to spend all their, pay all of it now, they can choose. And then you have your deadline as well to how long that card will be available to you to access. Now, again, this is all PCI compliant. So if you do it this way, chargebacks become easier. I hope you don't have them, but that is exactly what this is, because once they fill this out, a client actually fills this information out, they receive a PDF copy of what they filled out, and then you also have the ability to go in and view their credit card information. And where that is going to live, and really quick, let me just show you what this looks like, just so you can see. See, it's pretty easy. And it even goes down to your clients will see literally the IP address this is coming from, and it'll say the time that they opened it, clicked on it, did everything. So it's really pretty awesome. But those responses are going to go into the contact profile, just like this one did. So if I had asked Cindy for, her card information, it would actually appear in here, and I'd be able to open it up and view it. So that's all you do. In fact, I have some here, but I bet this is now expired. Yeah, see, the deadline will pass sometimes, but otherwise it's really easy to go get. And then you can delete it or you can keep it until that authorization goes out. And then if, it did pass and you still need it again, you just send another authorization form. So it's really easy, which is great. So really easy with all of that. Now, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Another thing too is if you ever want to set up e-signatures. So if you want to create a form with like terms and conditions or, cancellation, just saying that they honor it, you can also create those, any form. And then there's always this option at the bottom to turn on an electronic signature. And that's all it works. And it works the same way that the credit card does, where it sends them a PDF copy of what they filled out, and then you get that as well. And then it beautifully goes into their contact profile. So really, really great stuff there. Now, I'm going to move on, but one thing I want to mention again is that I am going to show you some of those free content that I'm going to give you. So those forms, I'll show you how to get those here in just a bit. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, because normally like a week ago, I would be done right here, but we just released invoicing. Now, invoicing is a little bit different right now because it's brand new. And I just want to quickly show you where to find it and how to use it, because you might decide to use invoicing instead of doing all of the credit card authorization forms. But you can do both. So let me show you what I mean here. So invoicing, and again, if you joined us yesterday, you probably saw this, but it is going to live inside a trip. And basically, so we have our trip here. We can add a new invoice. Just click supplier invoice. And then you can go ahead and type in the name here. You can put all the different items. So if it's like, this is for hotel, and let's say it's like Cape Town Hotel, and then we'll say it's 1,000, and then we can add another item. Maybe this is just like the deposit or something like that, or flights, anything like that. And then what you can do is you can also you can choose to display only the titles or totals, so you don't have to like have everything individually, which is really handy. If you're working with suppliers and you're like, I don't need them to know that actually it's like I have a little bit of a cushion. There's $100 built into this, or something for service fees, things like that. But you also can set up a payment schedule. So if you did need to do that, you can set those up so that way we can say there's a couple installments here still. And I like too that we try to stop you from doing something incorrectly, which is a bonus, always good. And so you can see here that you can set it up that way, attach documents if you need, add terms and conditions, and then you can just send it. So what it looks like for your clients is this. They will actually always be able to come back to this link and they can see everything, which I think is really nice. They can see all this. They can add their payment method in and authorize it from there. Now, before this, I did one just so you could see what it looks like. So let's say this one right here, this one has already been authorized. So now I am able to say anything I need. If I need to download, mark as paid, all of that. But now I can actually view the card information. So this is what it looks like if you were to look at this in their contact profile as well. You can view the card number and then view the CVV if you need, or just go ahead and delete it when you're done. So that's all it'll do. Now you can see for this person, they still have a second installment coming that they haven't set up yet. So when I'm ready to do that, I can send it to them again, nudge them along, or I can mark it as paid. So that way, if it actually did get paid, then I can just go ahead and make it paid. So it's really nice and again, very simple. What's great in there. Another last thing I want to talk about payments is also you can collect service. If you do collect service fees, you can actually set up your service fee. We use Stripe is who it is. So if you click on your name and click invoice at the top, this will bring you where you can actually set up invoices. And again, these invoices are different. It's just we came out with this one a couple years ago and called it an invoice when now we actually have supplier invoicing. But this is a fee invoice. So you're actually able to request money. And this is where you're actually collecting money from your client. So you can use that as well. And again, all of that can live right in their trip. So you can see everything that's happening in this trip with these clients right there, which is nice. Okay, though, I know this is a lot. Thanks for bearing with me. We have one more, though. I have one more thing because I really want to focus on the payments, the security, the forms. But one last bonus that I want to talk about is tasks and automations. Now, you'll hear us talk about these a little bit more throughout this week, but tasks and automations allow you to set things to send to your client. So let's say a credit card authorization form, terms and conditions form you need them to fill out. It can actually just, instead of you manually doing it, you can have it set to like send it at certain times. But then it also is a really good way that you don't forget something. And it's kind of what it is at the end of the day is like, you do not want them to forget to fill out a form that's very important. You know what I mean? So what you can do, there's many ways to do this. Now you can create some tasks in a trip. So if you need to add any tasks in here, you can. So again, a task is just like a reminder for you to do something. And automation is where you're actually having the clients get something. So it could be, an itinerary invite. So maybe 7 days before their trip, you're sending their itinerary to them and saying, make sure you download the app. And then also chat messages. So same thing, like you could say 2 days into their trip, you could have a message go to them that says, hey, how's it going? Just checking in. So you can also have like the form, that fee invoice, all of that. So a lot you can do in there. Now, you also can go ahead and you can set those up in contacts as well. So let's say, for example, we go in here and I need to remember for Cindy, I need to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot forget to follow up and set up call. And then maybe I can say this needs to be due on Friday. I can put a time note and then have that. So I can have all these things like that. Now another thing that you can set up is you can create entire workflows. So instead of going into a trip one by one, saying I need to do this, I need to do that, you actually can also come into your library and you can build what we call a task list, or you might hear them you'll hear us refer to it as a workflow also. It's kind of the same thing because a task list just has multiple tasks on it, but it can also have automations. So you could create a task list that says like pre-trip tasks. And then you literally can just put like, I need to make sure I collect all of this. So let's say that I need to collect insurance waiver, and maybe I need this like 100 days before that trip actually starts. So I have a task now. This is just for myself to remember, but maybe I also can set up an automation and I can say, hey, send the form. And then we could have like, okay, let's just put like insurance waiver example. And then I can say, again, set up before 90. So you can make a task for yourself and or just have a form actually just go straight to them without you having to remember that. So that's what's so handy about this is, again, it's making sure you don't forget something. So again, it's giving your clients an awesome client experience, but it's also ensuring that you're getting everything done that you need. So with this, I have something for you all. I have a template workflow that I will share with you. I'll share it with you in the chat here, and I'll show you where you can find it. But this workflow has kind of a simple workflow that we put together that will come with like a travel insurance option waiver, all of this stuff. And you can edit this once you get it in. But when you get access to this, just copy it to your library and you can get it in there. I also have that passport information form. So this as well, I created another one that has a ton of information. So again, this is for you to choose to use or not use, and you can get it in there. But I also want to remind you that if you go into your marketplace, so we've been talking about this throughout this week, if you go into marketplace, you will find some of this content that we're sharing right in here, along with much more stuff. So again, especially if you are a new agent, it could be really hard to know, where do I even start? What do I need to ask? Highly recommend go into marketplace, see what other people are doing, and you can copy them, use them in there as well. Another great spot, though, I'd recommend is also going to our Facebook group. That's also a really good place too. Okay. If there's questions, get them in now because I'm almost done. But I do want to say a couple other things here well, first of all, here, let me go back here really quick because make sure you join us for the other sessions. So again, tomorrow we're going to be talking about proposals and then itinerary. So make sure you join us for those. But I also want to invite you to happy hour. So join Bonnie, Doug, and I for happy hour on Friday as we wrap up training camp. And this is gonna be really fun. We set it up like as a meeting so you can see people's faces, you can unmute. It's just a really good time and you can win prizes. And then don't forget, enter our social contest. If you post a picture on Instagram or Facebook, tag us and use the hashtag Travefy TC25, and it'll be really fun. Like do like selfies or like of you watching us or anything like that, and join that contest and you could be a winner and you can win a swag pack. It's so cool. So highly recommend. You should check that out. And then last but not least, also, if you are not using Travefy, go ahead, start your free trial. If you go into our resources in this Zoom panel, you'll see the link where you can actually go ahead and start that free trial. We give you 10 days. So in that whole time, you can get all your contacts set up, all that good stuff. Schedule a demo if you need, and just know that we are here and happy to help you as much as we can. That's what this week is for and beyond. So it won't just be after this week, we promise. But join us now. There's still more to come. Join us for the next session coming up, where it's going to be a little bit of a bonus training that Bonnie's putting together, and it's going to pair very well for what we were just talking about. She's going to talk about templates and marketplace hacks to work faster. So as you saw, we've been talking about marketplace. using those templates. So I hopefully I kind of set you up for this really well. But check that out. And I just want to say thank you so much. I know this is a lot, so we really appreciate you taking the time to join us. But again, let us know how we can help, and hopefully we'll see you for this bonus training. So thank you, everybody. Oh, and there we go. See ya.